so I'm not using my vacuum right now, so I'll just put in my filter and just grab an orbital. I like the ones with the holes in it. That way, when this sucks its own air. So basically, this keeps my dust down a little bit. So definitely want to do that. So I'm basically going to show you. I'm going to sand this whole surface for you. Now, when you have raw material with veneer, you're dealing with the 32nds of an inch. So you gotta get comfortable with it. When I'm doing large surfaces, I have a sanding system that I use, which I'll show you on how what that entails. So when wood veneer is milled up, there's actually microscopic planing marks, like there's straight lines throughout from the shearing process. Now we want to get the wood to a natural state, which means on a microscopic sense we're going to grind it down so that it's all flat. Right now, if I would draw it, it would look like it would be straight, but it would just be kind of jagged like that. So we're going to sand so that we're taking off all those tips, and so we're going to basically have it nice and smooth. And just the little peaks that on my microscopic level, this is what I call the first grind down. We're just going to grind it down, and then we're going to feather sand everything out nice and flat and even. So when the stain does hit it, it's going to be nice and take is an even color. And the only light and dark there's going to be is the actual characteristics of the wood itself. So that is typically what I always try to aim for. So this is a little high for me, but I'll do my best. So basically, I will always do my outside edges first, because on an orbital sander of any kind, whether it's electric or whether it's pneumatic, the outside edge is where it really likes to take and really starts to sand off first. So with that said, I always go in little circles, and I make sure that this gets hit once, and then I do the middle part and get it all systematically flat, and then I'll go back and forth through the whole length of the whole panel, and I'll make sure that this does not get sanded through. I haven't sanded through for years. It's because I do the same system with virtually every piece I do. So if you catch on with this system, it's really handy. I do it for all my sanding, even including $80,000 boardroom tables. Or if I'm doing work on, say, a curvature panel of a Learjet, on a door, you can't sand through. So you got to make sure that your systems are right. Even if you're doing your kitchen, when you're sanding doors and panels, like this is an end panel, you want to make sure you don't burn through. So it's pretty imperative that you kind of have a system. This system that I do, it's not really taught in schools. This is just through my experience, and it works, and it works for me, and I'll do my best to have you understand it so it works for you as well. So, as I said, I'm going to start with the outside edge and make my way around. I'll transfer my pressure onto my thumb. Around here, you can be a little careful.
Get a little support.
And when I do that, I just glide my pressure off, make sure I'm still moving. And I'm just going to move that forward so I can put good down pressure on here. And you can see it's a little bit light on the outside here. It's exactly what it's supposed to look like.
Switch my pressure over to my finger. Okay. And it's gonna go like this. And bring it towards me. Notice I'm doing about here, right? My fingers are center pressure. Okay, and it's gonna keep on going back and forth like this. I'm putting about 5 pounds of pressure with my hand on top of the weight of the orbital. You know, see a little cross scratch right here? This is how you sand it out. Thumb pressure. Go this way, finger pressure. It's almost gone. It's gone. And I feathered it all out, all at once. Okay, same thing here. I got some nut scratches here. Take it from here. Take it from here. Thumb pressure. Finger pressure. Gone. Just keep your pressure, just keep the same pressure down.
Okay, let's just finish this off. So as I mentioned before, because we did all the grinding and all that kind of stuff in a controlled manner on our outside edges, I feathered on the aggressive side again on the inside of that, and then after that I used light pressure and went over the whole entire thing, overhanging on that side, overhanging on the ends, and just kind of pretty much just went all the way across till it went to the other end. So that was this part here. Now before I flip it, I'm basically going to grab my sanding block. I'm just going to quickly flip this over. This outside hasn't been sanded yet. So I'm just going to show you what I do. Now this is a full sheet of 150. Okay, so I'm going to go corner to corner with an abrasive side to abrasive side. Okay. Basically, you use your thumb in this case because it's pretty easy. It's 150. The higher your grit, the more you need to block for it to be nice and straight cut and it won't tear up on you. Okay, so you do it again. Same again, the abrasive side to the abrasive side. Now you can just take this and just squirt it like that. And it'll come right apart. No problem. Okay, so now with that, you can either fold it in thirds. Okay, so you just eyeball it in a third, and that should match right up to there. And now you can sand here, you sand here, you flip it over, you sand here. So it just makes your sandpaper last longer. Your material costs are down, you know. A little does a lot in a span of time. So yeah, I'm just gonna flip this over now. Okay, so we haven't sanded our edges yet. Okay, so that's one thing I think I want to do. Yeah, 2 ways to do this. Okay, basically you can, and this is where I usually use the cork side. Get this better. Now you can see the whole thing. Okay, so I'm going to, like most people, just have this, just have a flat side, and then of course I usually put either 1/4 inch, which is this what I have, or you can buy 1/8 of an inch or something like that. That's fine too. But what the cork does, it just, instead of on a hard block, it will hit all the high peaks, which is good, which is fine. But if you flip it over and use the cork side, it has a little bit more give, but it's still hard and flat. So it has a lot more grab. So it still stays flat. Okay, so basically I will start at one end. My finger pressure is dead on center of that corner. My corner is dead on center of that. So basically it's not going to leave a line. It's spread out. My PSI starts in the middle and spreads out to the edges so I don't burn through my edges. And I can even go back, oscillate, go up and down like that if I wanted to keep nice and flat as well. But with that said, you don't want to tilt accidentally, otherwise you could burn through the edge. So basically I just stay in the center, keep that even pressure, and especially with your finger joints here, on spots like that, and you notice it, okay, I'll switch around to the hard block side, and I get that really flat, okay? Makes it less noticeable. Now I'll flip it over and continue. Keep on keeping it flat. Back and forth, nice long lengths, finish it off. Now this is what I do when I do veneer edges to veneer panels, okay? And this is the back side, so it's good to practice on your back sides. So when it comes down to this is what I do. The weight of your hand, okay? Now with this it's a sharp edge. If you do not break it on a microscopic level, when you apply your sealer coat and that dries, it actually dries and it shrinks and it peels back, exposing raw wood right on that sharp corner. So then when you take your sanding sponge or whatnot, after sealer coat, you're getting it smooth. That's the first thing that's going to burn through, especially on the darker stain that I'm going to be doing. It's going to be quite dark. So we want to make sure we break that edge so that there's the film of lacquer, polyurethane, conversion varnish, whatever you're spraying, will curvature and it'll form a solid skin. It won't peel away at a sharp corner, okay? So that's the number one thing that goes, and plus if you don't do that, and even if you're top coated, that's the first thing that's going to, with wear and tear, that's the first thing that's going to get hit. And it's going to have less protection. So what I do, 45, very lightly, okay, you just create a break there, okay? and without sanding through. And just bring that brake all the way through. It's a slight angle. You're not sanding straight, you're sliding on an angle, like up and down on the angle. Then bring that brake all the way down. Okay, so now you got a consistent brake. Now you're going to make sure it's consistent by going 45, straight forward, straight back. Tilt it down to about 15-20 degrees. Okay, back, forth, back, forth. Do that same thing there. Back, forth, back, forth, and then back 45, back, forth. That's it. Do that. I promise you, it will be consistent, and you can go run your hand against there. It's not going to cut you. Okay, and that goes for everything that I do on the veneer to veneer. I even with this like MDF, I'll break it slightly more, and it turns out beautiful every time. Okay, so I'm just going to do that with this other edge, since we're on the back side. And even the carpet blocks. Now, talking about carpet blocks. Now, when I make carpet blocks, I always make them the same height. It's basically a 2x4 with a 3/4 bottom. Okay, they're always the same. I put this in its place, and it's still flat. Thing is, I made them longer, so you can have different sizes of carpet blocks, whatever you like. I use the big ones for bigger panels. Use the big ones for bigger panels, and use the small ones for smaller pieces. Okay. So again, I'm just going to go straight from one end here. Bring that even sanding all the way down. Okay, when I get to the end, I kind of put pressure on this side here, keeping it flat. And then I go back and forth, nice and even pressure. Okay, then I'm going to do this. Bring that brake all the way down. Even it out. Break it on the sharper angle. Straight side of it. Done. The exact same every single time. Alright, so now we're ready to orbital sand this side, and hence the reason why we want carpet blocks. Because now I don't care. It's not going to mar up my backside. You know, we're going to be sanding the good side last, because we don't want anything. If anything's going to happen, I want it to happen before I sand it. So now we flipped it over. Now this has been broken, that's been broken, this has been sanded, these have been sanded, and now we're on to the face side. Alright, so again, we're going to start, and now I have, see, I got pencil lines here where the hole is and whatnot. I picked nice clean side. It's going to look really nice when it's done. But you know, it's going really black. There's going to be some of the figure shining through. The rest of the island is quite black, like you saw that door. So really not much figure is going to be shown, unfortunately, but I do have to match existing to what is on site. So yeah, I'm going to orbital sand this, and then I'm going to break my edges again right here. Just going to break out both sides. And yeah, when it comes to this side, this here, I'll probably give it just a slight break, you know, just to take the sharpness off. And the same with both sides. All right. All right. So again, you just kind of start yourself at one spot, and then you work your way around. And here we go. done. Same kind of thing. Just gonna, since those have been broken, my edges, since my edges been sanded already, all we have to do is break our edges. Nice and quick, nice and on the angle there. And off the floor, twice, go forward there, forward there, forward there. Done. Every time. Again, every time. I'll go here, take my edge, just take the sharpness off. Okay. Beautiful. Okay, just take off that sharpness. And yeah, we're gonna take this to the staining stage, so stay tuned. Cheers.